So today in the One Year Bible is one of the most disturbing passages for me that there is in the scriptures. In fact, one scholar calls it a leprous text. In other words, nobody wants to touch it. It's a story about just after Elisha took over from Elijah as the prophet, and is on his way from Jericho to Bethel when a gang of kids comes out and begins to tease him. "Go on up, you bald head," they say. And so Elisha calls a curse down from God, and two female birds come out of the bush, come up and maul 42 of these kids, and then Elisha just carries on his way. It's a bothersome passage, lots to journal about and try and figure out about that. What in the world is going on? How can this gracious God that we serve bring this about? I remember the first time I encountered the difficulty with it was when I was in Bible college. I was doing my laundry in a laundromat, and I met another student, and he asked this question. He was from SAIT. Asked this question: what kind of a God would do that sort of thing? And it's one that I've wrestled with for quite a while. I know because when I went to research it again after this morning's devotions, I saw I'd looked at it before. But I was helped this morning by one fellow who says we have to remember the context of this whole passage. Elisha had just become the new prophet. And the passage immediately before this in 2 Kings talks about how Elisha healed some water in Jericho. Water is so important to us, not just because of beauty, but because of life. You see, the city of Jericho, you'll remember, was the first one to be conquered in the conquest. And Joshua had actually put a curse on Jericho. It was so pagan and so evil. And some of that curse was played out later. But here we have Elisha encountering the people of Jericho, and they say our water has a problem. It's no good, it's bitter, we can't have life, it's causing our women to miscarry, our livestock are having a hard time, the crops aren't growing. And Elisha heals the water. The very next story is him going on to Bethel, another place that was pagan in its background. And this is where this mob of kids, probably in their early teens, comes out and surround Elisha and are teasing him. "Go on up, you bald head." I mean, it's a dangerous thing to make fun of bald people. But really it was a disrespect for God, and more importantly, a rejection of God's covenant promises and offering. You see, these two stories need to be put together. One is an example of how it is that God wants to show us grace, and even a life that's been prior feels like it's been cursed can receive grace and healing. The other is when we respond to God with rejection, we face the consequences of that choice. It's a tough passage, and it's a good thing that it's shocking to us as we think about God, because it shows that we understand that God in his essence is gracious and kind and good and healing. But he's also not a God to be taken lightly. May you experience and respond well to the gracious healing power of God today. God bless.